Guys, welcome to Box, the football talk show powered by Sportology TV. My name's Uni. That's my lovely co-host, Ali Drew. Before she introduces our huge guest that we've got on this week, I'm just going to give you a recap of last week, so make sure you check the videos out last week. We spoke to former Leeds United player David Norris, talking about everything to do with Leeds and whether they could really push up for a European spot. Looking a bit unlikely, but he also spoke about the shambles that is VAR and much, much more. So check that out. We also spoke to Aston Villa faithful Ty Bracey, talk about everything to do with Aston Villa and whether they can also get a European spot. So check that out as well. Ali, this week, we've got another huge guest.
Yes, this week we were joined by a familiar face to the show. He is presenter on the United Stand. And we have to say a huge congratulations to the United Stand, who have reached 1 million subscribers. What an achievement. We are delighted to be joined again by Flex.
Hey,
Flex,
guys.
welcome to the show. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a great week. What a great way to top off the week, actually, on a personal for the channel, but more importantly for Man United as well. It was a great win.
Yes,
Flex, man, talk to me. Your smile seems to be from ear to ear. It was unexpected, but bloody hell, I don't know. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's got this sort of thing over Pep recently. What did you make of the derby yesterday? 2-0, Manchester United played great, sort of controlled the game at times. Give me your opinion on it, man.
It's one of them where it's unexpected, but when you look back at it, should it have been unexpected? Because I was saying before the game, although I did think we was going to lose, I was like, it will be the most Man United thing, the most Solskjaer thing to do, to rock up when you haven't scored a goal in 3 games. It looks like the chips are down. Bruno looks tired. Rashford's swearing at Maguire. It looks like, we're in a little bit of a bad run of form. You're playing against City, 21, winning all of them. And it's just a Man United thing to do, to just go and lay one on them. And so in that sense, I'm not surprised. But in another sense, I am, because I honestly couldn't see where that kind of performance was going to come from. I knew we were capable, but just the way we've been playing so far, that Crystal Palace result, I was really worried after that game. And it is, I suppose, we do it as football fans, isn't it? We are reactionary, like game by game, and it can change 3 days later. That's just how football works. But I honestly couldn't see them picking themselves up that well from that Crystal Palace result, because they look void of ideas, tired, jaded, lethargic, all of those kind of words. But what a result! It's just Pep. He's just had Pep's number since he's come to United. All he has, and he's been ringing it ever since.
It did start off well. Obviously, we've got to talk. The first 30 seconds there was a penalty. It was just the perfect start, really, for United. And there was records that were. One record was going to go. Man City were on this crazy run of wins and undefeated games. And then obviously I think 21 games unbeaten away it was United's now 22. So one of the records was going to go. Just talk to me about the sort of pressure on the players, because maybe they were seen as underdogs, so there wasn't so much pressure.
I think a little bit of that. Like, you do a lot of stuff with boxing guys, and that whole someone's always got to go. It was a little bit like that. Something had to give, innit? Something had to give. And the pressure on the players was there from fans. It's always there at Man United. But I do feel a bit like the players, and you can tell by the performance, were like, listen, this is a derby. Like, we're always ready to play Man City. No matter how crap or good we've been playing, we're ready. And Ollie's saying, we've got a way of playing against these that they won't give us the respect in terms of changing their game, because we're going to hit them on the counter and have the quick players running at them like Rashford, Martial, James, and hit them on the counter. Man City aren't going to change. They have that arrogance about them, and they kind of deserve to have that because they win so many games. I understand that. But that, coupled with our belief in the games against them as well, especially in the league, we beat them twice last year. So for those players going into this game, I don't think there was pressure in that sense, because they're good professionals. They play for Man United, and they know all about what the game is. But in terms of from the fans, the pressure was absolutely there. For me, I was like, well, hold on a minute. We're 14 points behind City as it stood then. That could be going to 17 points if we lose. Everton and Chelsea play today. Leicester won the day before. The pressure's on. Top 4 scrap. So the pressure definitely is on. But I think they handled it really well. I think that couple, it was probably the best game to have in hindsight after that Crystal Palace game to get themselves going again. And I think they showed that.
Yeah, there was massive pressure, man. The sort of points that were around us that could have been picked up and got close to us, the pressure was huge. One player I want to talk about, first of all, I wanted to talk about probably the signing of the season in Alex Telles. Sellers pushing Luke Shaw to become this player, man. He's become. Look, last season, I've got to be real with you, man. When Luke Shaw was performing the way he was, I was like, he isn't good enough. We're going to have to replace our left back.
You was one of them.
Yeah,
you was one of them.
I was, man.
So many doubters.
I wasn't convinced, man. But this season, man, bloody hell, he's best left back in England without a shadow. One of the best left backs in Europe. Talk to me about him, Flex, man. The guy's just been absolutely out this world this season.
He has. Unlike you, when he was playing that bad, yeah. I'll be honest. No, my thing with Luke Shaw has always been not the thing that he's out of shape, he can't run, he's slow, he's this, he's that. My thing was always he's defensively sound. Honestly, there's this myth that because he's got a certain body type that he can't shift, he can't run, he can't turn quick. He's a potato. You know, some people saying some real horrible stuff about Luke Shaw. I've always been, look, my grievance with Luke Shaw is I know there's more he can give. When he's going down that left-hand side, when he gets there, don't be so hesitant, Luke. Take players on, whip crosses in the box, drive at players. I know you can do it. And for me, that's the only difference we're seeing from him. Defensively, he's always been sound. Luke Shaw never gets skinned. Luke Shaw's very rarely out of position. He's very sound defensively. But I think what we're seeing now is there's no coincidence that he's created, I think, the most chances as a left back. I think he's up there with the assists. He's got himself a goal now as well. Those three departments he's excelled in, and that's because the confidence is there. And most importantly, he's injury-free. You know what I mean? He's injury-free. He's confident. And he's showing this isn't, I don't think it's luck. This isn't just a one-off good season for him. I know you might say it in terms of the level he's playing at because we haven't seen it. But I think it's down to so many factors other than luckily he's just having a good season. I think it's down to he's kept himself fit. He's got the confidence and the backing from Ole. And you know what's funny? In the summer, Luke Shaw was one of the players saying, we need new players. Like, he didn't say, like, we need a new left back, but he was basically saying, like, yeah, we need new players, but not in my position. Like, it's fine. So, yeah, he's had a massive season. Like I said earlier today when I've done some bits of Sky, if Gareth Southgate hasn't rang him already before the team's even out, I don't even know what he's thinking because he will be on that plane and he should be starting. Like you said, he's the best left back in the league this year.
Do you think he deserved man of the match yesterday?
Yeah, I gave it joint to him and Martial. I did. I mean, Martial, the only thing missing from his game yesterday was a goal because everything else, he was brilliant. And you haven't been able to say that about Martial in the last couple of months. Well, this season, really. He's had a tough season. And he's another one who just needs confidence because I think he can come good. But on Luke Shaw, he definitely deserved man of the match. I think he got put on his ass once by Mahrez. But other than that, had him in the pocket, sent João Cancelo off. Yeah, you're player of the season, all of this stuff. Yeah, see you later, mate. Welcome to the derby. Get off. And then he went on to score and kill the game for us. So definitely deserves man of the match.
There's two things I want to talk to you about. Sort of the change of Man United in the last couple of weeks. First of all, the goalkeeping situation. We know David De Gea's taken paternity leave, so he's gone back to Spain. So we've got Dean Henderson in, man. The guy fits like a glove at the moment in that back five. Just talk to me about Hendo, man. He seems to be doing bits, clean sheets galore.
He's doing his thing.
That throw out to Luke Shaw for that goal was great.
Yeah, that was good. I don't know if David De Gea thinks that way. Do you know what I mean? When we were talking about it after the game, right, on the United stand and just with fans in general, someone said, I can't put my finger on it, but we just look more assured with him there. And I was like, yeah, I kind of see what you mean. I don't really know what the reason is, but at the moment, I do like when Henderson plays. But I'll be honest, guys, I'm more in this camp of let's slow down a little bit. Honestly, like De Gea's got credit in the bank for days. If anyone's got credit in the bank, it's him. Now, don't get me wrong. He's been poor the last 18 months, 2 years, especially last season and the season and a bit of the season before, making real bad errors, uncharacteristic errors. And I put that down to, I don't think De Gea feels like he's challenged. Like when he messed up at Watford, when he messed up at Everton, when he passed the ball to Calvert-Lewin last year, did De Gea get on that coach thinking that, wow, I'm going to be dropped for Sergio Romero? I think he had it too comfy. So I always wanted Dean Henderson to come in and show and basically give De Gea the kick up the arse to say, you know what? You need to step up because there's a young kid here who Ole believes in. They've just given him a 5-year contract and they're talking about him being the next England and Man United number one. So David De Gea, you need to step up or you're out. Now, for me, he's been all right this season. David De Gea has done okay. And there's one thing playing week in, week out for Sheffield United, no disrespect, and then coming to United and doing it. Now, what Dean Henderson is doing really well is when he is playing, though, he doesn't, how can I say, he looks at home. He doesn't look like it's phasing him. you know, with some of the interviews he's been doing, the way he's talking, he's very bullish. A lot of reports in the media saying that he's knocking on Solskjaer's door saying, listen, mate, I ain't waiting. Like, if you get to the end of this season and you don't play me, I'm out. So Ole's got a problem to fix. And they've put De Gea on a big contract as well. Who's going to come in for De Gea, costing what? Probably, let's say, transfer fee of like 50 million. The wages he's on, over 300 grand a week, highest paid player at Man United in coronavirus times with the prices. So we could have quite a good but bad situation in the summer because something's got to give. But back to Henderson, I do like him. I do think the path is there for him if he can be patient enough. But at the same time, I respect him kind of saying, you know, I'm not going to wait for too long. But unfortunately, mate, you're at Man United. Like, no disrespect, you've just come in. You're on a 5-year deal. Just wait. Just be patient. Ollie's clearly giving him the right amount of game time, penciling him in here, penciling him in there. And they believe in him. So I just think he's got to wait his time and he'll come.
Do we know how long De Gea is going to be on paternity leave?
I think, well, depending on the quarantine rules as well, with him coming back, they said it was about 6 games or so. And that will take us up to the international break. So that's a nice little run for Dean Henderson to have. And let's say that this is where it gets interesting because we play AC Milan twice. Let's say he keeps 2 clean sheets in that, right, and we go through. Then we play Leicester to go through to the semi-finals of the FA Cup. Is it? Are we in the semi-finals? I think we are. Quarter-finals into the semis, I think. Yeah. If we win that, and then we play West Ham as well, get a bit of distance. If we come out at the international break with Henderson having smashed it, some people are saying, "Oh, David is tight with the running. What's going to go on?" But I think Ollie is quite loyal like that. He's got his favourites as well, and I think David De Gea is still the number 1 at Man United. We've seen that he's still the number 1 at Man United. And I think he will get his place back, regardless of what.
Well, Flex, is that the problem though? Having favourites, like sometimes if a player isn't good enough for like 4 weeks, like some players haven't been. Some players look legged for a long time, man. You look at Rashford; he's not been great for the last couple of months. He looks very leggy. Bruno, last couple of games, you're talking about at least the last 4, maybe 5 games, he's not been good enough, which is because he's probably leggy. So there has to be a point where you have to sort of rotate. Does it seem like at Man United we can do that because we don't really have the players in place to sort of come in and slot in there and do the job?
We don't. I think it's proved that. I don't agree with the with Solskjaer doing that with the centre backs. You're right. He's got the favourites because he played Lindelof and Maguire all the time, and Bailly comes in basically just to give Lindelof back a rest. That's it. That's the only time he plays. And I can see how well we played. Although the two played well yesterday, I give them their props. I think on a 38-game season in the Premier League, they're going to give you nightmares in quite a few games playing against certain types of caliber of opposition who are quick, direct, pacey. And you're right, it's not good enough to have the favourites. With the Marcus Rashford situation, it's been difficult because he's been having a say on the games. Do you know what I mean? Like Marcus Rashford, I'm one of his biggest critics at the same time as loving him and thinking he's amazing because I know, again, like how Luke Shaw was, I'm frustrated because I know there's so much more to give. But he's having a rate like yesterday. He leaves the pitch with an assist. You know, he has a high say on the game. It's the same with Bruno. Again, I get frustrated because I know you can simplify your game or you can play in a different way, but he has a huge say on the game. And Solskjaer sees it as at a time when I don't have that much options off the bench. I've got a young Ahmad, a young Shola. Mason's trying to find his form in that, not second season syndrome, but we can expect that. We just leave Mason alone, let him keep growing. He's so young. We don't want to heap everything onto him. And Dan James has kind of been in and out of the squad and is actually looking a really influential part now of our misfiring front three. How important he's been in the last few games he's played. So I think I kind of see where Ollie's coming from in terms of what else do I have? Should have used Van der Beek more, in my opinion. You've got a player right there, no excuses. And Rashford as well, who's going to come in and do that, especially when Martial was misfiring. But you're right, it's not good enough to keep having favourites, man. There's got to be a point where he kind of says, no, I'm going to play the best players for the position.
Listen, we've got to talk about Ole as well. Like, when you look at Man United, you look at the sort of coaching staff that we've got. They're very inexperienced. Look at Carrick. You look at some of the, apart from Nicky Butt, who's been around for a good while, there's not many in there that have got a great amount of experience. Now we see United going through this transitional play where they're becoming more aggressive. The back line are pushing up a lot more. I think Guy Neville said it on Monday Night Football a couple of weeks back. We're too far back. We're into a low block. We keep going back and we concede goals. It looks like Ole for the last 3 games when we were drawing 0-0, that he was getting his defenders to push up, getting the attackers to aggressively press. Do you feel like there's going to be a change in style now that we're going to possibly have to buy the players in summer? to suit this aggressive style that we're going to be playing going forward?
It's always hard with us to say whether you think that's going to be a permanent fixture or not, because we're so inconsistent with how we play. But we do have a level of consistency of the problems that we have. Do you see what I'm saying? So we're consistent in that sometimes we look out of ideas against teams who have a low block. Sometimes we look like we don't play with a high press. Sometimes we look like we don't pass very well. We've got the same problems in midfield with Fred and McTominay, who are great engines, combative players, can break up play, but they lack that quality on the ball that we need to go up a gear. But against Chelsea, same thing. The first half against Chelsea, I was saying the same thing. He said to Luke Shaw, Wan-Bissaka, listen, get up in their faces, stop Chilwell and Hudson-Odoi, the wing-backs playing, and let's be aggressive. But where the problem was is that aggressiveness, we couldn't transform it into meaningful possession in transition to go and be effective up the other end of the pitch, which is something in itself. I think it's a mixture of we need to improve the quality of players in them areas. And like you said, Ole needs to start setting us up like that more often, because you're right. How many times against a Palace or a Sheffield United or the Everton game or all the West Brom, these type of fixtures, have we just not looked quick enough, intense enough, very lethargic? And I feel like when the questions are asked at us against a City side like yesterday, we were going to ask all the questions like that. We're asking the question of them. Yeah. Come break us down. I think we're perfect for that with the players that we've got. But as we've seen, it's still a problem when we play against the Fulhams, the Burnleys, the Sheffield Uniteds, teams that say, come on then, you come to us. Yeah. We struggle. We really struggle with that. And when the individual moments don't happen, i.e. Bruno plucks something out or there's a good pattern of play between two of them and it creates a goal, we struggle. And Ole even said that in his last press conference, the one after the Palace game. He was basically saying the way we played against Palace this year versus last year wasn't that different. It was just that we scored in them moments when Martial and Rashford scored respectively. So then you're basically admitting that we don't have a playing style, that we're just relying on the individuals. Do you know what I mean? And not as many words. So that's a concern. But if he gets the players, if he gets a centre back, a centre mid, and a right winger, and that's a different conversation whether the board will get him that or not. Jesus, we know about how that runs. But if he does get that, then I think we can truly say, right, Ole, you've got all the tools. Because right now, as much as he's learning on the job, you spoke about the training, the coaching staff there. You're right, really inexperienced, almost like they're all learning as they go. Yeah. So we have to expect these kind of results.
I've seen since yesterday's game, I've seen quite a lot of, I suppose that they would be United fans saying that the title race is back on. Is that a realistic thing to say? Because Man City are still way ahead. They're still miles ahead.
100%, Ali. It's not a realistic thing to say. It's not.
Come on,
listen.
Come on.
No, listen. You know what? Yeah.
You're going to draw the fourth game.
No, because do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? I've been there with you lot, yeah, at the top of the league, yeah, when we were legitimately top of the league by a couple of points, saying, this is it. Like, we're going to do it. But at the back of my head, I knew the way we were playing and the way we were winning games by narrow margins and getting away with one, as they say, it was going to catch up with us. And it caught up with us to the point where we ended up being 14 points behind the leaders, you know, which could have been 17. Truly embarrassing. But the fact that we've won that and took it down to 11, nah, I'm not. I don't even think I've got the heart for it to get emotionally involved with that again. I just want to just move away from the top four scrap, win our games. Because as well, you got to remember, there's one thing us asking City to drop 11 points, which is what? 3 games and a draw, let's say, yeah? That's one thing, to lose 3 on the bounce or something like that. But the other thing is, we have to win every single one of them games. Like, to stop thinking that because we beat City in the way that we've always beaten them in the league under Ole, that we're just not going to go back to having games of being lethargic and, you know, dire performances. I still think that's still in us at any moment. Hopefully not, but we've got West Ham next in the league. It could be that. Again, David Moyes going to sit there, be tight, hard to beat. And we may see other performances that resemble that because the onus is on us to go and attack. So back to your question, Ali. It is a silly thing to say. Let's just stay in our lane and try and finish second. Let's just do that.
You're right, man. Honestly, getting emotionally involved as a Man United fan.
I ain't got it anymore. It's been too much.
There's this triangle that I think Benjamin or somebody put up. You know, you get your hopes up and you're at the top of you're top of the hill, and then all of a sudden you come crashing down, and then you go back down the circle where you stop gaining that momentum, and it's been like that 3-4 times this season, man. It's a tough thing being a Man United fan, I tell you. Talk to me about Paul Pogba, man. We're missing him. I know yesterday, obviously, we won against Man City. Prior to that, there was games where, you know, the team was sitting back, like you said. There were certain teams that were sitting back waiting for us to hit them, and we didn't have no answers. And it seems like the creativity in midfield isn't there when we don't have Pogba. Talk to me about how big a miss he's going to be, because there seems to be very, very good rumours coming out that he's leaving us this summer.
Yeah, and you know what? I was doing some shows on some reports that actually could stay on top of that as well. So you know what's going to happen in the summer. It's going to be the Pogba circus. We knew it from before. As soon as he signed that, he didn't actually sign it. We activated it. That's just a bit different. As soon as we activated the extension to make him stay, we knew that when it got to this summer, it's going to be crunch time, because he either re-signs or we have to sell him, because we can't have him running down his contract and going for free. Not now as well. With not any time. Not a player like Paul Pogba. But on football, on the footballing side of things, it's evident how much we miss him. Absolutely evident. McTominay and Fred can give you, like I said, high energy, combative, intercepting, breaking up play, and just being general, uncomfortable players to play against. But what Paul Pogba gives you, no one else can give you on our side. And not many players in world football can give you when he's on his day. He's that good. Even from a deeper role as well, Pogba, we do say we kind of want to see Pogba higher up the pitch and influencing the final third a little bit more. But since we got Bruno, that's been more difficult to accommodate Paul Pogba in that area. But even from a deeper position, we can see when he times his run forwards, what he can produce, and from deep, hitting those balls into channels, into runners. He just offers us so much creativity in that area. Now, I've been in the mindset that Paul Pogba was going to leave for a long time. So you talk about being emotionally invested in stuff. I'm over that. I can handle that. I don't want it to happen, but I have a feeling it will. And we're going to have to replace that. There's one thing saying we need a defensive midfielder, which we do. But you add losing Paul Pogba into that, we then need another creative midfielder. So it's going to be really, really tough. And you can see in the games that he's been out from just how much we've missed him. 3-0 in a row, is bad. Don't get me wrong. The one against Sociedad was a bit easier to take because we were already 4-0 up. So you kind of go, all right, cool. And we had Chelsea coming up, and we just needed to just come through unscathed with the injuries we had. Then you kind of going against Chelsea. That was crap. But all right, I tell you what, I'll give you a bye again, Man United, because it's all about keeping them 6 points away from us. Then you get the 0-0 at Palace. Then there's just no excuse. So all of those without Paul Pogba. So I think he's going to be a massive miss for us. I'm gonna say when he leaves, because I don't think he's going to stay. I can see how he might stay because of who can afford him and stuff like that. Does he just go, look, I can't get the move that I want. Juventus can't afford me. Real Madrid can't afford me. I'll just take the pay rise at Man United, sign a 3-year deal, let's say, and then but with a release clause, or if the right bid come in after COVID and you guys can get the money that's for me, they might come to a mutual behind the scenes. But I still think he will leave.
I follow the holy grail of transfer rumors or transfers in Romano, man. When he says he's leaving, man. When he says he's leaving. Yeah,
that's true.
So Flex, I come to you this summer with a blank check. I say, here you go. Sign whatever players you want. So you tell me, which players would you sign for Man United?
So the centre-back situation, it's got so bad that I'm not even interested in the exact player. I just want the attributes. If they find a young buck from Liga or Serie A or whatever who fits the bill, who's quick, who's pacey, who's strong in a tackle, then I don't really mind if I've never heard of him before. I look at Wesley Fofana at Leicester and what he's done. I'd have just gone and found him from the French league, 19 years of age, slotted in. And I'm not saying that means he can play for Man United. I know it's a step up. But I'm just saying there is value out there if you go and look for it. I look at what Gabriel done at Arsenal, who we were looking at, 25 million, looked like he fit the bill and we were interested. So, yeah, you got your Koulibalis, you got your Jules Koundé from Seville, you got Konate as well. All of those players I'll definitely be happy with, but I'm not actually attached with the name brand situation. I just want the right player for the job, but definitely a centre-half with the open checkbook. Central midfield, I'm saying Declan Rice. I would have him all day. I think people have thought he's overrated. I don't think he's overrated. I think he's proven actually why he's not overrated. The only problem with that is Mason Mount's his best friend and he wants to go Chelsea, let's face it. He's never going to come Man United. I would even take, and there's been a lot of disrespect on N'Golo Kante. I'd take N'Golo Kante. If he's out of favour at Chelsea, which he's not at the moment, Tuchel realises it, he needs to play. I'd still take him. People are acting like he's washed up and he's not good anymore. I'd definitely take him. Wilfred Ndidi, another one. Zakaria at Gladbach, another defensive midfielder, young, up and coming. So I'll be happy with any of those. Right wing, the Sancho thing's probably going to happen again, all over again. Again, we talk about things that I can't be emotionally invested in. That over everything. I'd rather get involved in the last 10 games we're going to win the league than do the Jadon Sancho thing again. Honestly, I swear to you. All last year, all last summer, right up until they mugged us off. When they started putting Jadon Sancho in pictures saying at training, doing all this and stuff, I was like, they are mugging us off. Haaland was in interviews. Witsel was in interviews saying how good he is and he's staying and all of this. I was like, they're mugging us off. So I can't get involved in that again. But I think with the open checkbook, if you ask me, do I want him? Yes, I do. So I'd sign him. And we're going to need a striker, guys. Like, let's address the elephant in the room. I love Martial. I really do. He's not going to be the guy. He's not. I think he can be in the squad, 100%. We need that. I need that 25, 30 goal a season man. I need the Kane. I need the Haaland. I need the Lewandowskis. And I know everyone needs that. I know that. I'm not being pedantic, but I mean, we need to be looking at someone who's going to guarantee us goals. But I think that's probably, out of the list I just mentioned, I think the other positions probably overshadow that. We're not going to get a Haaland now for 200 plus million. We're not going to get a Kane for 150, 200 million right now in this climate. So I think those positions is what I'd look to more.
Just moving on to talking about Liverpool quickly.
Yes, let's do that. Let's do that.
I think they've had 6 losses in a row at home. Do you think, one of the worst defending champions that we've seen? They're
100%.
not doing well.
100%. Now, look, I hate Liverpool, and you know that, but I do have to sympathise a little bit with the injuries. I do. I think if we lost, well, some people say if Maguire didn't play, that would be a good thing. That's their opinion. But if we lost our best defender, let's say we lost Luke Shaw, then we lost Bruno, a great attacking player, or one of our amazing midfielders, and then we lost our other centre back in Joe Gomez, so we lost 2. We'd be in trouble. And I think they really struggled with that. But then as some of them players came back, when you look at who's missing, it's only Van Dijk and Henderson and Gomez at the moment. There was a time when Trent was out, Fabinho was out, Matip was out, even though he still is. The left back, Robertson, he was out. Then you was like, whoa, they've got to play all these young kids and stuff like that. But now it's pretty much the team, apart from those 2 players who start. So their excuses are a bit naff, to be honest. How about the real reason is that you're getting back to what you used to be for 30 years, which was nothing, right? And it's caught up with you. It takes one thing to win the league after 30 years, but it's another thing to be in the conversation to win it again. So there you go, Liverpool fans. Welcome back to your reality.
I shouldn't have asked.
No, you should have. You should have, Ali. It's part of football. It's a talking point. You know? but the was a fortress.
But the actual crazy thing is that they were comparing this Liverpool team to some of the greatest Premier League teams only a couple of months ago, and it sort of shot them in the foot because they've really gone down the hill and massively. Man, nobody expected this. No. Regardless of injuries, regardless of what it is, there's a certain element to this that people talk about Klopp's playing style. And it's very frantic, it's 100 miles an hour. And eventually it catches up with players. And it seems like a lot of the players, they're very leggy, they're very tired. It looks like it when they play.
Looks like it's a bit stale. Like, you see, I saw a stat that was saying Pep Guardiola at Barcelona about how kind of every 3 years they refresh the team. So he's gone from like an Eto'o, Ronaldinho and Messi. Then it's like a David Villa, Messi and Henry, let's say. Then it was the Suarez, Neymar, Messi. Then it changed again now to what it was. Then it was Pedro, whatever. Yeah. Every 3 years, Suarez left. Every 3 years, they kind of kept mixing up. That front three never stayed for longer than 3 years. And I kind of looked at that with the Liverpool situation. You look at Salah, Firmino, and Mane, and it just Salah's still having a good season, to be fair to him. He's still the top scorer. He just gets goals. That's just what he does. But Mane's dropped off massively this year. Firmino has never been a clinical scorer, but his performances have dropped off. And it just looks like they're suffering from that bit of staleness. They brought in Thiago as well. As good as he is, I wanted him at Man United. He's a fantastic player, but does he fit Liverpool's style of play? I'd say no, he doesn't at this moment. And it just looks like they're suffering from a lack of freshness. Diogo Jota, before he got injured, proved that. So he came in, was a breath of fresh air, gave him a little different dynamic, and was scoring goals for fun, to the point where he was starting ahead of Firmino for a few games, and he got injured. So I think a little bit of that, plus they're just not that good. It's just not that good anymore. How about that?
I love it. You know, one of my friends, and you know him obviously, Adi from Talksport.
Oh, how good is it seeing Ade absolutely pissed on his little Twitter saying, "What's got?" I just sent him a little emoji, little happy emoji, and he said to me, "Well done on reaching 1 million, but go away."
Oh, it's good signs. But hopefully United win a couple of trophies this season, which is probably going to be one of the main goals. But Flex, man, it's been a pleasure. Ali, you've not got anything else to ask, Flex, have you?
No, I wanted him to have his opinion on Liverpool and then gloat about United. He's having a good day.
Flex, you've been a star, man. I know you're a busy man. I know you've sort of got this big big channel that you've got. So yeah, thank you very much for coming on, man. It's a pleasure talking to you.
No, thanks for having me on. It's always fun, and like I say, it's always me kind of asking the questions and some of that. So it's nice. It's really refreshing to come and do stuff like this, and you guys are doing great things as well with the guests you're getting on and building the platform as well. So keep it up, man.
Thank you, and a great day for you to join us. Congratulations on everything.
Yeah, exactly. Even though we didn't think it would be, but we'll take it.
Perfect. Thanks, Flex.
No worries.
Great to be joined there by Flex, talking all things United, and after that epic United win in the Manchester derby yesterday. Great timing to have him on. But guys, stay tuned. Please do what you can to support the channel. Subscribe, like, leave comments, share, whatever you can. We do appreciate it. And we're doing everything we can to bring you some great guests. We have loads more big guests lined up, so do stay tuned, and we'll see you next time.